Who needs DBA insurance? If your company performs work overseas for the United States government, one question should be answered before the project begins. Do you need Defense Base Act insurance? Many contractors have heard of DBA insurance but are not exactly sure when it applies. Some believe it only applies to military contractors. Others assume workers' compensation is enough. In many situations, neither assumption is correct. Today, we'll explain who generally needs Defense Base Act insurance in simple, easy-to-understand language. Let's get started. What is Defense Base Act insurance? The Defense Base Act, or DBA, is a federal law that generally requires workers' compensation-type benefits for certain employees working outside the United States under covered government contracts. The purpose is to provide protection for employees who are injured while performing covered overseas work. Who typically needs DBA insurance? The answer depends on the contract and the work being performed. Many companies working overseas under U.S. government contracts should carefully review whether the Defense Base Act applies. That review should happen before employees begin work. First, let's start with government contractors. If your company has a direct contract with the United States government to perform work outside the United States, DBA insurance may be required. Examples include construction companies, engineering firms, infrastructure contractors, maintenance contractors, and many other service providers. What about subcontractors? Many subcontractors mistakenly believe only the prime contractor needs DBA coverage. That is not always true. If your company performs covered work under a qualifying government contract, DBA insurance may also apply to your employees. Subcontractors should never assume the prime contractor's policy automatically covers everyone. Always review the contract requirements carefully. Construction companies are among the most common businesses requiring DBA insurance. Examples include projects involving military bases, embassies, federal office buildings, and also housing facilities, airfields, utilities, roads, bridges, ports, water systems, and other infrastructure projects funded by the U.S. government. Engineering firms may also need DBA insurance. Civil engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, inspection companies, project management firms, as well as all should evaluate DBA requirements depending on the contract. Environmental consultants, surveyors, commissioning specialists working overseas. Security contractors are another group frequently associated with DBA insurance. Companies providing security services, protective services, logistics support, operational assistance for government agencies. Logistics companies may also be affected. Transportation providers, supply chain companies, equipment support firms, warehouse operations, material handling contractors, maintenance providers working under qualifying contracts. Many humanitarian and development projects can also involve DBA insurance. Projects funded by agencies such as USAID or other federal organizations sometimes include DBA requirements. These projects may involve schools, hospitals, public utilities, water treatment, agriculture, community development, emergency response, and infrastructure improvements. Who is actually covered? Generally speaking, DBA insurance is intended to protect employees performing covered work. Coverage requirements depend on the law and the specific contract. Independent contractors, volunteers, or other individuals may be treated differently depending on the circumstances. Proper legal and insurance guidance is important when evaluating worker classifications. What if your company already has workers' compensation insurance? Many contractors assume that domestic workers' comp policies automatically cover overseas work. That is often not the case. Defense Base Act insurance is a specialized form of coverage designed for qualifying overseas government contracts. The two policies serve different purposes. One of the biggest mistakes contractors make is waiting until after contract award to address DBA requirements. Insurance should be reviewed early during the bidding process. Understanding contract requirements ahead of time helps avoid project delays, compliance issues, last-minute surprises. Another common misconception is that DBA only applies to military combat zones. That is not true. Many covered projects occur in relatively stable countries around the world. The determining factor is the nature of the contract and applicable legal requirements, not simply whether the project is in an active conflict area. Companies should also remember that contract language matters. Not every overseas project automatically requires DBA insurance. Never assume coverage is unnecessary simply because someone tells you so. Each contract should be reviewed carefully. Why is this important? Failure to comply with DBA requirements can create significant problems. Potential issues may include contract violations, unexpected financial exposure, claims complications, also possible project delays, legal issues, difficulty obtaining future government work. Taking the time to understand the requirements before work begins helps reduce these risks. Working with professionals who understand government contracting can make the process much easier. Experienced advisors can help review contract requirements, identify potential insurance obligations, coordinate appropriate coverage when needed. Let's quickly summarize today's discussion. Defense-Based Act insurance is designed for certain employees working overseas under qualifying U.S. government contracts. Companies that should carefully evaluate DBA requirements include prime contractors, subcontractors, construction companies, engineering firms. Also consultants, security contractors, logistics providers, infrastructure contractors, maintenance companies, organizations supporting overseas government operations. The exact requirements depend on never assume. Always review the contract carefully before work begins. The contract, applicable law, the work being performed. Thank you for watching. We hope this webinar helped explain who may need Defense-Based Act insurance. If you found this presentation helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others involved in government contracting. Need a second opinion on your insurance program, contract requirements, or risk financing strategy? Schedule a confidential discussion. Visit montridgeinsurance.com. Thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next webinar.